Hi everyone, this is Jess and I'm back again for another video. Welcome back, and today I'm going to show you how to make these amazing little scented wax tablets. They are made with beeswax and soy wax, and I'm going to give you a full tutorial on how to make them. I'm going to show you two different ways using 100% pure beeswax, and then I'm also going to show you how to make them with 50% beeswax and 50% soy wax. To make these, you're going to need a mold, and I've chose one that has a spot here to put the tag in afterwards. You're going to need a variety of herbs. Here is my stash. There's quite a lot in there. Which ones you choose is really up to you. You're going to need some white beeswax. You can also use yellow beeswax if you want to, but I'm choosing to use white beeswax for this demonstration. And then you're going to need to choose some sort of fragrance to use. What one you choose is really up to you. I have got quite a lot, and I'm going to go through them now and see which one I would like to use. If I just wanted to do a lavender one, I could use French lavender. I could do the same thing for a rose, or I could make a citrus one with this lemon mandarin scent. I've decided on using purple cornflower petals, hibiscus, and some sweet orange peel for this demo video. And this is the cornflower petals. Look how pretty they are. I love them. This is the hibiscus. I wish you could smell it through the camera. It smells so good. And of course the orange peel. This next part here is pretty simple. You just take some of your herbs that you want to use and you just put it however you like in your mold. There's not necessarily a right or wrong answer. Obviously, you can't fill the entire thing up with herbs. Otherwise, what you're going to have is just no room for the wax to go anywhere. So just keep that in mind. And these are heavy, so they will show up most likely on one side. Whereas these cornflower petals, they are lighter, so they might float up to the other side of the wax. So just any way you like. Just add some herbs into it, flowers, leaves, petals. Just make sure that they're dried. Next step is to get your pouring jug, whatever you use to melt your wax, and you need to put it on your scale and measure out your wax. Now, this mold is quite small, and I'm going to take a guess on how much wax I'm going to need. I don't actually know the first time I'm making it because I haven't weighed out the finished product. So I'm going to guess that I'm going to need about, I'll say 100 grams of beeswax, and then I'll go from there. I've got my beeswax and I'm just weighing it into my scale now, making sure my scale is paired. And all I'm doing is just weighing it in. I have 100 grams of beeswax in my melting pot, and now I am going to measure out my fragrance. So I've got my precision scale. I'm going to turn it on and put my clean beaker on top to measure out my fragrance oil. You can use fragrance oil, natural fragrance oils, or essential oils for this recipe because it's just being used as a closet hanger or a car fragrance. It's not a candle. It's not being burnt. I'm going to use 10% fragrance for this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go melt my beeswax, and then I'm going to pour my fragrance into it. I've got my old trusty melting pot that I always use to melt my wax in. So I'm just putting it onto my burner, turning it onto high heat, and now I'm putting my jug right inside of it and just waiting for it to melt. Now, when you put your jug in here, do you see how mine's kind of like wiggling around? If you don't want it to do that, just take out some water. But I don't have a lot of wax in here, so it's not going to have a chance of spilling. But just keep that in mind, that if your pot is like kind of floating a bit, to watch out for that. It's melting. Once your beeswax has melted, what you need to do next is check the temperature of it. You can do this using a thermometer, or I've got an infrared gun. So this is 79, which is great. What you need to be checking for is to make sure that you're not adding in the fragrance when it's like 100 degrees, because then you'll create a flash point. Okay, do you see that? Oh, this is a good example. That is what happens when you pour a cooled liquid into hot liquid. So all that has done is made the wax, the fragrance has made the wax like solidify again. So either you can just give it a minute and it should remelt, or what you can do is put this back on the heat if it doesn't remelt. But you can see like right here that it's melting. So you just need to stir this up, and then we're going to pour it into the molds. Got my molds ready, remember from earlier, and we're just pouring in the wax now. And you'll see that the herbs move around a little bit when you're pouring. So just pour slowly into the molds and watch the sides of them as you're pouring so you don't pour too much. Keep a heat gun nearby for remelting the sides of your pot. This might have been almost perfect. And if you want to add more herbs into your molds after you have poured, like this one here seems to not have that much, you can add more. So there wasn't that much left over from that 100 grams. This is not all wasted here. Don't think that it is. You can get a heat gun like this and you can melt down the sides and reuse this. So this isn't wasted. Just use it to make more of after these have cooled down. And you can see already that they have started, even just with me showing you the heat gun and talking, the white around the edges there. So I'm gonna let these cool down fully, and then I will be back. Be careful not to rush to unmold these. Right now these are solid and they're really warm, but I'm not going to unmold them yet because I need this little part right here to remain intact. So if I didn't have this part that I was worried about, because I want to thread a ribbon through there, then I would just unmold this right now. But because I want to make sure that that is absolutely solid, even though this is warm and it's solid right now, I'm going to wait till it's completely cool before I unmold this. My molds have completely cooled down now, and I'm going to unmold them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be really, really careful about the parts here where I want to put my string in. So that's the part I want to make sure that I don't snap out. So when you're unmolding silicone molds, always pull them from the sides to try to get them out before you do. And you want to make sure that when you're pouring your wax, you don't pour it over top of this. You need that silicone part out. So I've just kind of pushed. Oh, perfect. There you go. Those look nice. These ones are 100% pure beeswax. Let's unmold this one now. So I've unpopped the bottom, but I don't want to just pull it off like that because I want to push this part out like that. Very nice. Now I've got some hemp cord here that I'm going to use to tie it up. So to do this part, you simply choose whatever ribbon you'd like and you thread it through your loop. And you can adjust this to whatever length you want. This is quite a long one, but for now, that's what I'm going to show you. So you can customize it, you know. You can get some ribbon like this, or hemp cord, whatever you like. So have fun making one yourself and let me know how it goes. Any questions, leave them below, and if you've made it this far into the video, consider subscribing to my channel where I will do many tutorial videos for the future. And if there's anything you'd like to see made or need help with anything, just let me know in the comments below. Here's a variety of different ones that I've made. So you saw these ones that I made with 100% beeswax. You can also make some with 50% soy wax and 50% beeswax. So if you're going to make a 100-gram batch, you just use 50 grams of beeswax and 50 grams of soy wax. Use a tart soy wax. This is something you would use to make wax melts, so it's got a little bit more additives and harder shaped, and you can experiment with different herbs and things like that and botanicals. These ones have red rosebuds in them. You can also color the wax. This is a sample of a colored one. And you also don't need to even add any botanicals to it at all. You can see this one has nothing in it. It's just a colored one. So don't think that you have to only put botanicals in it. You can literally do whatever you like. Thanks very much for watching, and good luck making your own wax tart. If you have any comments about how to make these, let me know below, and happy making. See you later. I'll see you in the next video.